Hello and welcome to this episode of the Mixtape podcast. This is where we take a deep dive into the inspirations and influences of my guest as I ask them to select 6 tracks for their imaginary mixtape. Track 1 is an attention grabber. Track 2 is a song they sing in the car or the shower. Track 3 is a cover version. For track 4, I'll ask them to pick a song they wish they could have played to their 18-year-old selves. Track 5 is a song they would use to woo someone. Track 6 is a track that my guest feels doesn't get the attention or recognition that it deserves. If you'd like to support the creation of this podcast, it's patreon.com/mixtape podcast, or you can check out the link in the description below. You can join for free or subscribe for as little as $2 a month. There's lots of other Patreon-only content on there, including the opportunity to ask guests a question and to have a personalised mixtape playlist curated by yours truly. There's lots of other ways you can support me, a like or a follow on social media. Again, there's links in the description for that. Or if you are listening on Spotify, you can smash the follow icon or you can rate the podcast. All of these little things go a long way towards growing the platform, and I really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome to this mixtape for KCR 102.5 FM and the mixtapepodcast.com. Joining me today is Hannes van Dahl from Sabaton. How are you, mate?
I'm doing great, dude. Nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks for making the time and coming on the show. Really, really appreciate it, buddy. So, the Tour to End All Tours, the movie, is out in cinemas October the 11th. It's Sabaton.film if you want to find out info on that. It's a concert movie. First of all, Hannes, what made you want to make this movie?
First of all, it's one of those shows, it's one of those nights where kind of everything comes together so nicely. A lot of people say, thank you for coming to play here, right? And every time I hear that, I think, well, thank you for coming to the show, because if you guys don't show up, we can't play, can we?
Yeah, there's no show. Yeah.
So there's no show. So it's a mutual thing. What makes a good show? A good show. It's a 50-50 thing, right? Audience, band. And when that kind of comes together and really works, that is the Tour to End All Tours live, right? That's it. It was such a great night with 16,000 of our closest Dutch friends, and that's it. It's just too good not to share.
Yeah. So did you plan it to film that particular show, or were you filming like most of the shows on the tour? Did you have in mind beforehand that this is the one?
Yeah, okay. quite a huge production, and also to plan that, and that's also one of the reasons. Like, why did we choose Amsterdam? Well, first off, it's the biggest arena that we headlined on the Tour to End All Tours. It's also a very modern arena, which makes it very ideal for making a film production inside of it. It's also like a bit into the tour where the band is warmed up. You get the best out of the band. We are used to the set list. We're used to the show. Since this was a very theatrical show, if you will, like way more theatrical than we ever did before. So
I was lucky enough to be sent the screener link, so I've seen maybe 2/3 of the show.
Oh well, all right.
For anyone who is thinking about going, you are in for an absolute treat. The production is amazing. The pyrotechnics, the effects, the lights, everything. It looks incredible. When you're approaching like a gig like that, does it change the way you approach the gig in terms of planning and preparation? And do you feel a little bit more nervous, like for a show like that you know is gonna be captured, on film and shown around the world?
It's a very relevant question. I think that we have done a few shows over the years where we filmed it. And of course, like production, like filming wise, there's a lot of planning, what kind of shots do we want? What do we like in a live film? Everything from us growing up, seeing maiden shows and, buying Wasp freaking VHS tapes. So kind of like water it down to what do we think is awesome, right? So in that sense, it takes a lot of planning and finding the right production team. But then I think you have to like not let the nervousness get the best of you. You know, the show is still what it is, and we do the best we can every night. You know, so in that sense, there's no difference. But
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of being a drummer. Like, dude, there's so much going on. I don't have time to think about anything else than what to play next.
Yeah.
So everything came together so nicely, and it's something that I'm super proud of, and I can't wait to show it.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I said at the start of the show, it's out on the 11th of October. I believe there's 6 cinemas in Perth that are showing it, a couple of event cinemas and some Hoyt cinemas. As I said, it is Sabaton.film if you want to go, and you can book tickets there. You can find out where your nearest show is and everything else, and find out a little bit more. You can watch the trailer there as well. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Anders, and you sort of touched on it a little bit there when you were talking about the production, like, is this the biggest event in terms of production and effects and everything and size of arena that you've ever played as a band?
I would say so. Yes. Yeah. That was 16,000 headline show, sold
Yeah.
out. Yeah, sold out show.
I know that you weren't sort of in the band in the early days. Listening to your stuff and listening to that show, your music sort of suits the arena scale of venue, really. I can't imagine what it would be like to see you in the early days playing like 500 capacity, 1,000 capacity sort of venues. You know what I mean? Because you do seem so well suited to that big arena with the style of music and the way you play. Do you ever play small shows like that anymore, or are you purely a big arena band now?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. It's a big compliment. And so this is my personal take on it. I think a really good band can do a good show anywhere. I think a really good band should be able to do a good show without pyro and all the special effects. You know, I think that adding those on top is just a bonus, right? That does not make it a good show. It's enhancing the show. That should already be good from the get-go. So, and actually I think we did 49 shows, which was a Swedish tour we did a couple of years ago where we did, I think the biggest was around 2,000 people and the smallest was, if I don't remember incorrectly, 400.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So very scaled down production and everything. And it was great, man. Like, I think we enjoyed it so much because this is so different. And if we are fortunate enough, we can do both.
The other thing that I love to see about your movie was that it's an all ages movie, so anyone can go and see it. So for accessibility and stuff like that, you're reaching a much bigger sort of audience. So yeah, no worries there. If you want to take the kids along, they're young metal fans, it's absolutely fine with the kids. Was making it all ages something that you thought about, Hannes? I know, like, lyrically, there's no problem. There's not going to be any issues there with in terms of content, but was making it all ages something that you thought about, or was it just how it happened to be?
That is a good question. I don't know, actually. But I would say that if it's possible to have it all ages, we usually would go for that.
But the other thing I was going to ask you was, like, since we're on the subject of kids, like, would you encourage your kids into the music? Because, I mean, with Flora and yourself, like, obviously they're going to end up in the music biz, aren't they? Somewhere along the line. Would you encourage that? Is that something you'd like to see?
Yeah, we have talked about it. Obviously, it would be weird if we didn't. I would let her or them, actually, because nowadays they're two. Lucy and Freya is my daughter's names. And, if they want to get into it, we will be there. And there's all possibilities. The drums are up. You just grab your sticks and go bash out. If you want to sing, mommy's there. Go grab her and you can get a pretty decent vocal coach,
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, sure, whatever, whatever gets you going. I will be there to support you, you know. But yeah, for sure. I mean, me and Freya, we've been playing drums. She has a little. I have my big kit set up, and which I rehearse on and write music. And next to it, we have a little smaller kit. So we've been. It's the best thing is when she teaches me, which I love. She's like, "No, do it like this," you know.
Let's talk about your mixtape choices, mate. Now, so the radio show is called the Mixtape. So when I get guests on, I like to ask them to make up on a mixtape, and we'll pick some tracks for it.
Yep.
So track one of the mixtape is always, even when I kick off the radio show or I make up a playlist for someone, always go in with a big attention grabber for track one, mate. So what was your track one attention grabber?
So that's the hard song to choose. And in general, like, pick your favorite songs. It's like, oh shit, how long you have? Because I have 400 of them. But okay, for me, one song that I kind of always forget about, but every time I hear it, I enjoy it thoroughly. And that would be Stand Up and Shout by Dio.
Fantastic choice. And what is it about that track that you feel is an attention grabber?
Just the pure energy of it. Like, you know, that the guitar riffs, you can hear the energy. You can hear that you can hear the hunger, right? You can hear that it's a hungry band, hungry musicians. They want to prove themselves. And then Dio, you know, he can sing about Tupperware, and you'll be like, yeah, you know, I'm so into Tupperware. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever he sings, it's just awesome every time.
Absolutely. Great choice to kick it off with, mate. And track two of your mixtape is pick a song that you sing when you're on your own in the car or the shower. Are you much of a singer, mate?
No, I'm a terrible singer. That's why I'm the drummer. I stay far away from. I can't sing in my house, you know, because the expected level of vocal you know, skills. Yeah. And it's like, I get the question, like, do you guys sing for your kids? Like, yeah, one of us do. But, you know, no, I don't sing a lot, but, well, I do. I mean, well, my choice, anywho, would be Princess of the Dawn by Accept.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, I think you are when you hear it. It's one of those songs that's like, oh, right, it's this one, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'll check on this.
It's a great song, very Accept, the best of Accept, kind of.
What I do, Hannes, is on the radio show, I'll be dropping the tracks in between as we're talking about them. On the podcast or the YouTube channel, which we're listening there, there'll be a link in the description to a Spotify playlist of Hannes's tracks that he's picking. There'll be some Sabaton tracks. There'll be a link to the trailer and where you can buy tickets for the movie and everything else. Will all be in the description for the podcast. Okay, Hannes, track three is I asked you to pick your favorite cover version. What did you pick for that?
Well, there I had to go with one of our own cover versions, and it's very, very relevant now because we'll start our part 2 of the US tour together with Judas Priest next week. So that would be our version of All Guns Blazing with Sabaton.
Nice. That's a great cover. Absolutely love that one. Yeah, great choice.
And fun fact about that one, it's our guitar player Tobbe, who's now back in the band after 8 years hiatus, if you will, and he is the guy singing together with Joachim.
Okay, track 4, Hannes, and this one is sometimes the one that takes a fair bit of thinking time on it. Track 4 is a song you wish you could play to your 18-year-old self.
So for me, it was kind of a funny question because I would play the same song to my 18-year-old self as I did listen to back then.
Okay.
But both of us would be like, yeah, dude, it's the best, and I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
So it's Painkiller, Judas Priest.
Okay, yeah.
Technically makes it the second Judas Priest song on this list, which I didn't even think about. For me as a drummer, when I heard that Scott Travis drum intro for the first time, it literally blew my mind. And it was my older cousin Johan who played it in their rehearsal place when me and my younger cousin were for the first time allowed to enter there, and they played Painkiller, and he did that intro, and I, you know, that was the whole start from me where I wanted to play drums. Like, I don't know how to do those sounds. I didn't know what the f it is, but I have to be able to do it.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of where it kicked off for me.
Yeah. We did touch on influences a little bit earlier on, but you mentioned Iron Maiden and obviously Judas Priest there. Was that sort of, the main sort of stuff you were listening to at that sort of age?
Yeah, that would be it. For me, funny enough, Maiden came a bit later, just by, how it was back then. Everything was pretty random, like somebody showed you something and that was what you got into. But
Yeah. Well, they made you a
if you
mixtape.
ask exactly like that. And for me, it was always Judas Priest, Metallica, and Wasp. I would say those are for me. And then came Slayer, and then came Maiden for me. But those, and then came Testament, and then it started to get harder and heavier from there on into thrash. But yeah, those were the pillars of the foundation, I suppose.
Sure. Okay, in track 5, Hannes, if you were making up a mixtape for Floor, for example, and you wanted to let her know that you're romantically interested, what would be a track you would put on your mixtape for that one?
Well, here's the thing with me and Floor. She's 10 years older than me, 9 years older than me. So every time we listen to a band, she's 10 years ahead of me, which is so funny. So if I would say, if I would play her whatever, right, Dimmu Borgir song or a Metallica song, she's like, yeah, it's cool, but I like this album more. And it's always the one that was 10 years earlier.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So I have to meet halfway there. So I needed to find a song that we both like by a band that we like the same era of.
Mhm.
And since we're talking romance, it's Love Machine by Wasp.
Oh, great choice. Yeah, absolutely. I think I've got that on vinyl. That album, yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
A great choice. I think it
And
might.
she's also very, very picky with her singers, so it's got to be something that she likes. And I know she likes Blackie's vocals.
Yeah. No, he's a great vocalist, Blackie Lawless. Yeah, for sure.
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
Yeah. And finally, just to round out your mixtape, Hannes, pick a track for your mixtape that maybe doesn't get the sort of recognition or attention that you think it deserves. Something a little bit underappreciated.
So one of my favorite bands the last couple of years is actually good friends of mine, and it's a band called Brothers of Metal.
Okay.
And they're doing great, dude. I think they just released their second full-length album, and it's a Swedish band, and it's such a fun band where they have amazing songs, and it's a great live band too. So if you ever get the chance to go see them, I would highly recommend it. Great bunch of people. And the song I chose is called Berserker.
Okay.
Berserker.
Okay. Is that the English translation? Right. Yeah.
Brothers of Metal. Yeah.
Okay. I will check that one out. That's one of my favorite questions to ask, because as a music fan and a bit of a music nerd myself, and obviously 52 years on the planet, I've made my way through quite a lot of music over the years. So it's always good to pick out some new stuff. And that's the reason why I asked that question, purely for me, for my own personal, to get into some new stuff. And obviously the idea of the mixtape is to spread the new music to people, the stuff they haven't heard before. So yeah, that's a fantastic one for that. Finally, Hannes, just to round out the chat, future plans for the band are the back end of this year, the start of 25. Any chance we might see you live in Australia in the next sort of few months or year?
Well, we are planning a new album. And of course, we are also planning tour dates with that. So we're going to go out and play new songs and a new tour. So it's a planning phase at the moment. And now all focus is on the Tour Tendal Tours cinema release, October 11th, which I'm super stoked to finally let out into the world. And next week we go out with Judas Priest. So dude, life is good.
Amazing. Okay, Hannes, thank you so much for your time and coming on the show, mate. It is Sabaton.film for all the info on the Tour to End All Tours movie. That is out in cinemas October the 11th. There's a few cinemas in Perth that are playing it. Get your tickets there while we still can. Hannes, thanks so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate your time, buddy.
Much appreciated, mate.
Take care, mate. Good luck. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mixtape podcast. All the links that you will need are in the description below. Link to my Patreon, my guest website and social media, my social media, and the link to the Mixtape Tracks playlist as chosen by today's guest. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.